Hello and welcome to week 3 of the class. I wanted to talk about a few things. First thing, I met with some of you online and there were some questions about grading. And my grading policy in this class is maybe different than other policies that you've had in other classes. I put some highlights in the announcement, but I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that like when you're looking at homework assignments, so specifically when you are looking at an assignment like a learn assignment, I'm expecting you to get maybe like 75% or above on that. I definitely want you to try to go for completion of those because I want you to learn everything in those. But if there's a problem that you keep having to redo, and you don't really feel like you're learning the concept, I don't want you to get stuck and feel this anxiety about having to complete that specific question just so that you get the points. I'd rather you reach out to me and ask a question and engage with the material, struggle with the material. So not every question on here is the same difficulty level. So if there is something there that is really challenging and you feel maybe the module didn't cover in detail, there's not a good example there, you can reach out to me, but you don't have to worry about that affecting your grade if you're struggling with a concept. The discussions as well, at some point in the semester when I look at your participate in the Connect assignments, like a discussion board here. If you have 75% of those done, 75% of the learn assignments done, that's all developing your knowledge. So I'm going to give you full credit. When you look at the skill knowledge checkpoints, you get 3 attempts on these, and I'm looking for 80% or above. So you might have noticed I'm going in, and if you didn't get a perfect score, I round that grade up to a 4. I change your grade up to a 4 because, again, I'm looking for proficiency, not that you got every single little thing perfect, but that you got the majority of it, that you understand it, that you've taken some of the concepts that you've learned in those learn modules and that you are able to apply it and that you've retained some of it. Okay. So again, not focused on getting 100%, but actually seeing if you learn the material because you'll eventually have a learning summary. And what those are projects and videos where I ask you to explain something and either apply it to an interest or your career or some data that you found. So that will be next week. You'll have your first learning summary, and I'm looking for proficiency or better on those to demonstrate how you have learned the material. And it's not a perfect system. If there's ever a time that you feel like you have learned something and it's not represented based off of the feedback you get, you can always do a revision. And if you're having trouble demonstrating me what you've learned, you can always reach out to me and we can come up with some other way that you can demonstrate what you've learned. This week, you also have a discussion. And so you're going to find your own data. This week, we're looking at numerical summaries for data. So you might look at like what team was the home team and so you might look at, did the home team win or did the home team lose? So you might put a W or L for your categorical variable. You might record the score as your quantitative variable. You could also look at like a social media post and look at how many shares it had, comments it had, something like that, and whether it had music in it or not. So there's a lot of different, I gave you some examples in the discussion. You can kind of pick if you want to go with one of those, or you can come up with your own. But there's lots of data. Hockey's in season right now. Baseball is starting up, so you might use baseball scores. You might look at player stats in baseball, player stats in any sport. There's soccer going on right now. So any stats that you can find, it just has to have some categorical data and some quantitative data. One thing I did want you to focus on is using these free stat apps. So these free stat apps here make your life so much easier. I don't expect you to ever have to write down a formula. I actually prefer for an online class that you use technology. So if you're asked to summarize a quantitative variable, I put this in the discussion, please use these apps. They're in the sidebar of your Canvas page. I look forward to seeing everything that you're doing. I've really enjoyed seeing how much you're learning so far, and I hope that helps.